Okay, well, thank you everybody for joining us once again on a cold, dreary night towards the end of November. But worry not, Christmas is coming. Bright lights, presents, oh, it's all to be excited about. Okay, now, it is my very great pleasure to advise that I won't be speaking tonight. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Helen and I'm a tour leader here at Wildlife Worldwide. For those of you that do know me, it will be a blessed relief that I'm about to hand over to a very honourable speaker. We have joining us this evening the lovely Anurag. He is one of our guides in India. I can tell you from first-hand experience that our guides out there are exceptional, incredible knowledge, incredible passion, but more importantly, they're in the field every day, and therefore the knowledge is exceptional. So no pressure, Anurag, but here we go. So what I'm going to do is just invite you all to use the chat or the Q&A session, and I will endeavour to answer questions along the way. If I think that they're useful questions for everybody to know the answer to, I will put them to Anurag at the end of the presentation. So with no further ado, I would like to introduce you all to the one and only Anurag, who's going to take us on a whistle-stop tour of the Indian subcontinent. And it is a subcontinent. There's a lot to get through. So over to you. Enjoy.
Thank you so much, Helen, for that introduction. And that was very energetic. That got me up. It's 12 a.m., guys, here in India. And I'm in Bandhavgarh right now. And yes, I'll be talking about my great country, which is India. And I'll be talking about the different kind of landscapes that we have. What mammals can you see here? We have a lot to go through. So let's just start. So my country has 28 states in total, and each state has its own state animal and state bird. So you can imagine that how much diversity India has. So we'll be covering some of the major parts of India, starting from north, which is the Trans-Himalayas, going towards the western India, the central India, the northeastern India, and the southern India. So every part of this beautiful country has a lot of wildlife to offer. So yeah, let me start with Trans-Himalayas first. So this is one of my favorite places to operate. This is my favorite places, one of my favorite places to see wildlife, because the wildlife that we see in the Trans-Himalayas, which is towards the north, is very much like the area is very, very difficult to survive. And it's still habitated by humans and also by the animals. So Trans-Himalayas is the reason over the greater Himalayas. So people think that the cold desert is only in Tibet, only in Gobi, but India has a fair share of it. And we have some amazing mammals and amazing birds in that area, which are only found there. And it's a pleasure to see them sometimes. It is also called the land of Shun. Shun is basically snow leopard in Ladakh. And if you're planning your snow leopard trip to India, you note that word, because your spotter will scream out Shun, and then you'll know that there's a snow leopard in the scope and you can go and watch it. So here is the map of the Trans-Himalayas that we have. There are three major ranges. The Karakoram range, which is in the north. The middle range is the Ladakh range, and the lower range is the Zanskar range. Now, there are three main areas where we operate. One is called Dras for the Himalayan brown bears, Hemis National Park in the middle for the snow leopards, and the Changthang Plateau for the infamous Pallas's cat. So I'll be taking you through all of these areas and talking about each of the species and the areas, how the operations are, because I guess this is the area that people have a lot of questions about regarding the altitude, the temperature, and the operations. So I'll try to answer them all in this part of my presentation. Coming first to Dras. So Dras is actually one of the most coldest place on the earth. The temperature can go down to minus 50 to 60 degrees Celsius. But still, there are people living there. There's wildlife living there, and they are coexisting in a very beautiful way. In this picture, you can see there is a Himalayan brown bear. First of all, I'd like to give all the picture credits of Himalayan brown bears to Karamjeet. He's a friend from Kargil, and he's been clicking the brown bear since last 5-6 years now, and he's doing amazing job. So Dras is one of the places that you can see the Himalayan brown bears in its full glory. So as you can see the bear right now here, it's much more different than the European bears that you see in Europe, and of course very much different than the grizzlies and the black bears that you see in different parts of the world. They are much more smaller. The males only go till 120 lbs and 120 kgs, and the coat is very different in color as well. It's much more golden brownish, and yeah, and they live in this very, very dry habitat. The brown bears, the population is around just 500 to 700 individuals. That's it. And most of them are found basically in these mountainous areas, the plateaus in Dras, where you can go and trek and see them. So one of the major problem, like in the terms of bear population, is that the females, they reach the sexual maturity at the age of between the age of 5 and 8. But that's a long period of time, and because there was a research done by a researcher which was based in Kargil, that why does this happen? It's because there's very less minerals, there's very less lot of less nutrients in the diet that they have in Dras and these cold plateaus. Because of that, the pregnancy is very delayed. But in Dras, there's a valley called the Mushko Valley, and it is one of the best places to see the Himalayan brown bears, because next to the Mushko Valley is the Terai National Park, which is in Pakistan, and that is the areas where these bears, they breed, and for nursing their cubs, they come down to Mushko Valley, and there you can see female with cubs, and you can photograph them very nicely. They share the habitat with different kind of mammals and birds. Himalayan wolf is one of them. They are always first or second when a bear makes a kill of a horse or of a local livestock. After the bear leaves the kill, it's majorly the red fox or the Himalayan wolf, a pack of wolves, they come and eat them. So you can also see that animal there. They also share the habitat with the ibex, the blue sheep, a lot of different ungulates in the areas, a lot of different kind of bird of prey as well. We use Drenmo Lodge in the Mushko Valley to find these bears. Drenmo in the local language is brown bear, and you can see the beautiful hill in front of the lodge. So the sightings happen from the lodge, okay? From the lodge itself, sometimes you can see bears early in the morning. You can see them sleeping as well. You can see them foraging around. You can see the cubs. Just this in the front, that the mountain range, the mountain that you see, you can also trek there. So there's a way that goes behind the lodge and behind the mountain, and you can go for a trek. And if you want a closer shot of a bear, you can go ahead and do that trek and get some closer shots of the bears. Now, I went there around, it was very personal for me to go to Drenmo, because Himalayan brown bears were like one of my target species to see. And after I was in Africa for some time, I got a very bad sciatica pain there. And after that, I almost lost my hope that I will ever go to trek and see the brown bears. But as destiny has to be, I got a guest of mine who really wanted to go, and I went with her, and we trekked I did of course a lot of exercise before going to Drenmo, and it was very, very phenomenal. I cried when I saw my first brown bear. It was just amazing. When doing the trek, we came across a very huge male bear, which was on a carcass of a horse that it killed. Then we came across two brothers, both of them males. They were very young, and they were still finding the way. They'll in next couple of months, they'll move toward the Terai National Park, but we saw them very nicely. I also saw a female with two very young cubs, like 4 or 5 months old, and they are still with their mom. And it was a magical experience. We use Renmo Lodge, and this is the interior of the Renmo Lodge. Now, another thing that I love about this lodge is the host. He's Mr. Muzammil. Muzammil has been working for brown bears since last a decade now. The local villagers have a lot of problems regarding the bears because they come at night to the village and they scavenge and they go for dumpsters. So Muzammil has been working with the women of the area in terms of generating income and also generating them to become spotters. And it has been quite fabulous. Muzammil is a very noble person, and just talking to him on a dinner table is just amazing. And this is the interior of the lodge. And don't be surprised if Fayaz, the lodge manager, will knock you up like early in the morning saying that there's a bear outside, and from when you open your window there's a bear just outside, because during the night the bears from the mountains, they come down and they scavenge, and also they raid the field as well for potatoes and other things. So yeah, there are cases like that in which you can see the bears very closely. Your typical day in the Mushko Valley looks like this. So you wake up around 6 7. There will be local spotters who are already out in the field looking for wildlife. And as soon as as soon as they will see something, they'll let you know, and you go to the place and you go and see the bears. Now everything is set it up outside, like your breakfast is outside, your lunch is outside. They'll set up in the most beautiful locations, and you can go and enjoy your lunch in the field while looking at the bears and other species of animals. It's a very beautiful habitat. It's the sun comes like a little bit late, but still like it's very beautiful habitat. And to see the bears in their natural habitat, such a rare animal, I think it's a blessing. Coming to our second target species of Ladakh is the grey ghost. Now, a lot of people think that it's very difficult to see this cat. There is a lot of challenges that one should face to see a snow leopard. All these documentaries that we've been seeing since ages regarding snow leopard tracking and snow leopard, uh, people have this conception. But in India, in Ladakh, especially in the valley of Ule, we have made things a little bit more comfortable for you in terms of the accommodation, in terms of the trekking thing as well. So Ule is a valley which is just an hour and a half, 2 hours away from Leh, which is a central town in Ladakh, in of in the state of Ladakh. And that is one of the best places in India right now to see the snow leopards. So there are a lot of different villages, and there's a lot of spotter connection. Okay, every village has at least 4 or 5 spotters that live in the Ule Valley, and early in the morning they wake up, they try to find the cat, and if they find, they'll tell you, and then you will drive to that place where the sighting is happening. Maybe trek for a bit. It's not a very steep climb sometimes it is a steep climb, but it's not a lot. You go to that area and you see the gray ghost. So the operations are much more easier. The operations, the lodges that we use in Ladakh have hot water, they have comfortable rooms, they have comfortable people around, and a lot of stories about these gray ghosts. So it has been made easy to see snow leopards in India, and the sightings have been amazing. Last year in this year in February, in January I was there, and we had sightings of 5 individuals, which was just amazing. uh, One was just a male. We also saw a female with a very small cub, and it was like, it was, I guess, 300 meters. My closest sighting was 150 meters, and my furthest sighting was around 400 meters, which was quite far away. But I'll remember that sighting for my whole of my life. So these gray ghosts, the population of these gray ghosts is around 700 to 800 of them. And in Ladakh, in Leh, there is good population of 300 that we can find. And in the time of winters, they come down from the high altitudes. Usually they live over 500 meters in summers, and after in the winter time they come down searching for the prey. So it's the best time to see them. In February, usually they go for mating, and you can hear the vocalizations of the snow leopard, which is amazing to hear. There are times in which you are searching for snow leopards, and you the spotters are searching, and you can hear like far away there's a snow leopard calling. You get instant goosebumps of these cats because it's just elusive. It's just it's just a magnificent cat to see. So yeah, there are huge boulders in Ule, in which in between of these boulders, in this beautiful landscape, this cat survives, and they live very. They are very still very elusive in general. Our spotters are the main people who do the job. They have the eyes to see this cat in between of things, in between of the same color rocks, and they'll tell that, oh, that's not a rock, that's a snow leopard. And I every time I go there, I get astonished by the people who work there, and just their spotting skills. So yeah, that's a very good snow leopard photo from the snow leopard lodge that we use. The sighting was just happening around 500 meters away from the lodge, and it was actually on the eye level. The snow leopard was in eye level, and it was not as much distant as well. So the lodge manager there, he clicked this photo, and which is amazing. It's showing that snow leopard is coming out and stretching for a bit before going for a hunt. And later it did hunt as well. It hunted a blue sheep, and that was also filmed, and it was amazing sight to see. The second image that you can see is a red fox. This is one of the most common mammals to be found in Ladakh. On the way from Leh to any place that you go, you might see them on the road, and they are like more red in color. And sometimes when they are walking on snow, they look like fire foxes. They look like some mythical creatures just walking with their bushy tails. And on the kills as well, they are always there. And there's a very amazing interaction between snow leopards and them, because snow leopards, they eat and then they go and sit somewhere watching over the prey. These guys, they are not aware that snow leopard is there, and these guys come and eat, and then you can see snow leopard just running towards them. And it's how it is, and it's very good. The sightings of snow leopards and red fox are very common together. Sometimes there are a lot of photos as well. The third image that you can see is another prized mammal of the Trans Himalayas, which is the Pelassus cat. Now, Pelassus cat, it was previously considered that you can only see them in Tibet, Mongolia, or some other parts of these Trans Himalayas. But now in Chanthang Plateau, there's a plateau which is extension of the Tibetan plateau. Towards the eastern side of Ladakh, there is a very good population of Pelassus cat. And recently, one of my friends, she went there and she had a sighting of one very close. So there's a big highway, and just next to the highway, there are 4 to 5 individuals, and they are babies, they are young ones, and they are like visible in the summer months, and also sometimes in the winter months. And amazing thing with them is that photographing them is very fun, because they come out in the sunny day and they bask outside on the rock, and they close their eyes, they almost sleep, and you can get a very good shot of them sleeping, standing on the rock. And they're very fluffy cats. They are cuddle worthy, but like, of course we can't like as much as we want, but they are very amazing cats to photograph and to see. One of the most rare cats as well, I guess. One of the most difficult rare cats to see in terms of conditions and in terms of photography is Pelassus cat. And in India, we have good chances of seeing them now. While looking for these majestic big animals and lesser cats, there are other animals as well. You can see, I guess it's more of Of course, these big mammals excite me, but the little joy is in between of safaris when you go for a safari and you're concentrating on lions, you're concentrating on tigers, you're concentrating on snow leopards. But if you see something small, I think that also gives you a lot of pleasure and a lot of happiness. This small movement of happiness. So you can come across Himalayan weasels, large-eared peakers, some great ascenter birds in all these cold habitats. And same as Pelasgic, they also come outside on the sunny days just to bask, and it's a good sight to see. If like when you're looking for these big mammals like the bears, leopards, and the Pelasgic cat, there are a lot of different things to see in the area. So when the spotters are searching, you might come across a Himalayan griffin, or a limber gyre, or a golden eagle, or a argali, or a blue sheep, or a Tibetan snowcock, and most of them have this like some of them have different colors of the landscape, so photographing them is very amazing. So we use a snow leopard lodge for snow leopards, and it is very beautifully located in Ule Valley. And the spotters here are they go early in the morning, they spread themselves out in all of the valley, and they start looking for leopards. uh, they have hot water, they have heated blankets, so everything is covered. No matter how temperature is outside, you will be very warm inside with the people, because the Ladakhi people are very warm. They'll treat you in a very good way, and the rooms as well. So the best time for these animals is given below. Like for brown bears is usually April to October. After October, they'll start going for hibernation. The temperature can go to minus 20 degrees. For snow leopards, November to April is probably the best time. In February, it's mating period, so there's like more things happening in that time, starting from January to April. Temperature again is same. Pelasgic cat is November to April, but during the time of April, you can see all the three species, which is the brown bear, the snow leopard, and the Pelasgic cat. So it gives you a wholesome experience of the Trans Himalayas and seeing these amazing species. Now, I guess a lot of you might be thinking that when you go there might be a problem with acclimatization. So what we do is that we suggest at least 2 days of stay in Leh before starting for the expeditions for snow leopards and Pelasgic cat, so that you are comfortable enough with the altitude. And most of these places have oxygen cylinders. Most of these places are well equipped with medical facilities in the lodge itself, who can help you if God forbid anything went bad. They are full equipped to help you in any way. But we do give the acclimatization time for you, so your body gets ready for the expedition. So that's for the Trans Himalayas. And if you ever get a chance, I guess once in the lifetime experience, one should get of this place. It's very beautiful. Talking about more about cats, India is home to the only population of Asiatic lions. It was a long way that we have gone through to see these species, but now we have a very good population of these species. But Gujarat is not only the home of the Asiatic lions. Gujarat is also home for very different things as well, very different mammals that you struggle to find in other places. In national parks, where you go for safaris, in other places of the world. So there are three main areas in Gujarat where we can see these animals and birds. First of all is Gir National Park, which is towards the southern side, which is famous for the lions. And then there is the Black Buck National Park, or the Velavdar National Park, which is famous for its black buck, but also for the hyenas and the wolves in the area. And then there is the Wild Ass Sanctuary, the only home for the Asiatic wild ass. So coming back to lions, we had a lot of problems regarding this mammal. At first, this mammal was found starting from the Middle Eastern countries to Afghanistan, to Pakistan, to Western India, to Central India. They were all over. But because of hunting, there were times when they were less like couple of dozens of them left. Like there were small pockets in some areas that you can find them, and at the end it was just the Gir forest in Gujarat that you could have found them. But now the population is going up. We have more than 600 of them now living in Gujarat. uh, we had another problem with them, is that will they ever go out of Gir, because there can be more problems after that. But I'm a huge Jurassic Park fan, and there is a quote in Jurassic Park that says life finds a way, and it did. Eventually the lions have now started moving outside the park, and they are started to find these small pockets of forest, and they are living there now. So it's very high probability that when you're coming from due to your lodge in Gir, you might, in the morning or like in midday as well, you might see them on the way. So yeah, it's a conservation success to have lions in India. So the above photo that you see is, of course, the male lion. They are very different from your African lion that you find in Africa. First of all, the main difference is the size of the animal. Our lions are smaller in size. The other thing is our lion's skin is very shaggy. Okay, they have these bolts underneath their skin, and that makes them look very shaggy. They don't have that huge manes like that of the African lion, but they have the pride dynamics is the same, which is it is as complex as the ones that you find in Africa, and they are very interesting to photograph. The photograph on the top is a male lion strolling his territory in the morning. While you go for your morning safaris, there's high probability that you'll see one strolling around and marking its territory, doing vocalization, and photographing them in that light, early morning light, is just very rewarding. The cubs as well. At least when you go to Gir, at least one pride has small cubs every time. I've been there. I got some good photos of the small cubs as well, around 2 to 3 months. It's joyful of them to watch them, because they're playing with their father's tail. They are like trying to grab their father's mane, and it's just so fun and delightful to watch, especially like knowing that this species was at the brink of extinction and it's back now. And then you see these small cubs that are like a ray of hope towards the new wildlife. New population is very good. Also, in the mid time, like the lions in Africa, they like lay down, they rest. So there's a lot of misconception about lions in general, that oh, they're lazy, they don't do anything. Whenever I go to a safari, they're just laying down, they're not doing anything, they just roll about once in a while, and that's how we see lions. But there's more to add to it. So lions, they conserve their energy. It takes a lot for a lion to hunt. And if you have ever seen a hunt in your life, they hunt, and after that they keep breathing heavily, at least for 20 to 25 minutes, because there's a lot of energy and efforts which is done by lions to get a prey. And they conserve this energy by spending the day lying down and like just relaxing, because at night they'll go for a hunt and they have to do a lot of work. Gir also has amazing population of leopards. At least in a day, there is 1 or 2 sightings of leopards in the park, and that gives you a very good opportunity of photographing them. The terrain is very open in Gir in general. Like it's not as thick as Central Indian parks or the Northeastern Indian parks, but then it's very open, and you see a lot of, like, you see from long distances, so you can come across a leopard very easily. uh, Four-horned antelope, it is a specialist of that outcroppy outcroppy and rocky habitat, and it actually has 4 horns. So one is, 2 are at the back and 2 are at the far front, and they are also very small in size, and they freeze. Like this guy here, he freezed, he didn't move, and it gave us good time for us to photograph them. The other mammals as well, like the jackals, are in the area, and they are also very commonly seen, the Asiatic golden jackals. No one talks about it, but Gir is also amazing for birds. There are a lot of roosting sites for different kind of owls, starting from the Indian scops owl to mottled wood owl to the brownfish owl. You find them in the area, and the guides, like, they know how to ethically photograph them and by not disturbing them. On the left hand side, you can see a beautiful gray francolin. This is probably the first voice you will listen when you'll go to the jungle, or a lion roar. So either this or lion roar. But it's amazing for birds. You get good photography. Also, a lot of raptors. Short-toed snake eagle is in the area. There's a lot of different kind of eagles, such as steppe eagle, lesser spotted eagle, greater spotted eagle. So Indian spotted eagle and greater spotted eagle. All of these are in that area. And from the lodge itself, you might see them. Talking about the lodge, we use Gir Sarai, which is just 3 or 2 minutes from the gate. And I'll give you a small tip about this lodge. If you ever stay in this lodge, at 5:30 in the evening, get your drink and go and sit in the lawn. Because at 5:45, there's a huge colony of fruit bats, around 200 fruit bats that come from the park to the nearby areas where there are these big fruiting trees, big roosting trees, and they fly across you. And it's a sight to see, like 200 of them just going in front of you, flying across in this time of sunset, and they are going towards the roosting areas. So take that tip, and if you go to Gir Sarai, sit down with your drink at 5:30 in the lawn. Okay, as I was talking earlier about Gujarat, that there are a lot of lesser species of animals that you can see, that you are highly unlikely to find in other parks. One of the species is this, a striped hyena. Now, Vilavdar National Park, or the Black Buck National Park, it's a very small area, but the wildlife there is just amazing. Because there's no presence of big predators, these small predators can like easily be found, and they are very much in that area. And probably one of the best places to see the striped hyenas, which is very, very elusive in general. This year the sightings were very good of a hyena. Also, there was a very rare sighting as well, in which a hyena was seen hunting, which is also very rare, hunting a black buck calf, and it was having it in its mouth, and it traveled for a long distance, and people got some amazing photos of it. The terrain of the Vilavdar National Park is very open. It's grasslands, so it's amazing for scanning. So you can just be in your open jeep and scan from long distances, looking for black bucks, looking for hyenas, looking for wolves. And there are perches in between, like perches, like as on the left hand side of this photo, you can see there's a small shrubs. So there are a lot of these small euphorbias. A lot of birds come and sit on the top, like raptors, starting from crestals to harriers. They come and sit on the top, and you can get close to them and get some amazing photographs of the birds. Star of this park is, of course, the black buck. Highly hunted during the early independence time of ours, and also in the British era. They were highly hunted. It's a spiral horn antelope, but it's not like if you go to Velavda, you'll just see 1 or 2 or 3 of them. You'll see hundreds of them together, like a herd of 120, 130 is just a common sight in Velavdar. And they are very elegant, especially the males, the way they walk, the way they look, it's very, very elegant. And they just look confident. They are very confident, like they're amazing confident animals to picture, and they are everywhere in the park. So you can come across them anytime, and you can click some good photos, especially in the morning when the light is pretty good. The coats shine a bit, and you can get some very good photos. Talking about the mammals or the carnivores of the areas, jungle cat is present there. Usually now, in a lot of national parks, the jungle cat is found outside the tiger reserve, more near the farmlands, hurting for mice and everything. But in Velavdar, you can come across them inside the park, and you'll find them hunting. You'll find them hunting for mice, small birds, and they are very much there. Striped hyenas, as I talked about, there's a good population of striped hyenas in the area inside the park and also outside the park. I'm going to talk about it later, that how you can see them outside. And also the main carnivorous species is Indian wolf. Now people just think about the wolves in the Western world, that okay, there are the wolves there, there's a wolf in Ethiopia, there might be some wolf in the Himalayas, but in India we have wolves in central India, and also like in major part of India, like starting from central to west to south, we have wolves in every part. However, like as other parts of the world, the wolf were hunted down. The same happened with us. A lot of our wolves were hunted down because of the folklores and everything. But now slowly we are getting the grasp of it. We are telling the people that it is highly important to have wolves in the habitats, to control the prey population. And Velavdar, we have good around 8 to 9 packs which live inside and outside the park, and the sightings are very common as well. It'll just take 2 or 3 safaris for you to get a very good photograph of a Indian wolf. Another thing about Velavdar is that it is the biggest roosting ground for the harriers. So you can see the pied harrier there, you can see the hen harrier there, you can see the Montague's harrier, you can see the marsh harrier, and they'll be perched on a shrub, they'll be perched on a porch, they'll be perched ground, also flying around. Like you can capture them flying around. I had one of my photographers friend said that there's nothing more beautiful and magnificent to see a pied harrier flying across and clicking a photo of it, because it's very, very pretty bird. So yeah, in Velavdar you can get photos like that as well. We use the beautiful Black Buck Lodge. I went there recently. I was completely astonished by the property. They have now their own grasslands inside the park, and inside the lodge. And in the grasslands, they have seen, of course, the black buck is there. They have seen wolves coming in as well. They have seen hyenas inside the property, which is amazing. And also next to the Black Buck Lodge is a village, and towards the eastern side of the village, there's a place where they dump the dead cattle. So if you go there at night, your naturalist can take you there at night, and you might see a hyena there. So that is like a good area to see hyenas, because people go and dump their dead cattle there, and the hyenas come and eat them. So yeah, that was Velavdar. I'll let you sink in the photo for a bit till I take a sip of water. So this is Run of Kutch, and this is an iconic species of Kutch called the Indian wild ass, or khur. Before 2015, before 2000, like in the early 2000s, the population of khur of wild ass was very, very less. It was around I guess 1,000, 2,000 individuals left, but now we have more than 5,000 individuals still living, and they are doing good. Run of Kutch itself is a very beautiful area, a very, very geographically important area, and a very, very geographically and a very, very beautiful area as well. The terrain in this area is these huge salt pans. There are salt pans, there are just small lakes there. It's like huge run, like it's desert, like salt desert all over, which attracts a lot of different kind of birds, like these lesser and greater for flamingos. They together come, and they come to these very small watery areas in Run of Kutch, and they are there for a long period of time. Also some of them are also resident there, so you can click them anytime. Coming back to the wild ass, as I said, that the population went very low, and then the government stepped in, and usually the major problem was the habitat destruction, and some places it was hunting. But the population now is very good, so you can see good amount of khurs or the wild asses inside the national park. And the behavior is very same as zebras, as they are also equids. You'll see males without ears, without tails, because there's a lot of competition between the stallions, and they want the control of the herd, and they'll for the males who are not that stronger, they'll bite off the ear, they bite off the tail, and it's very interesting to see. The flamingos in the park, it's one of the best places to photograph flamingos, and you get closer to them, you can get down and like click very good photos, and not just flamingos but other species of some shorebirds as well. They also come to Run of Kutch. Also, Hubara bustard is also one of the specialties of Run of Kutch. Hmm. uh, like when you go there, it's not like it's just plain area and you're not gonna see anything. There are a lot of different things you're gonna see, except the wild asses and also the flamingos. There are desert foxes in that area. There are Indian foxes in that area as well. A lot of domicile cranes also come in that area. The lodge that I'm going to talk about, like in the early in the morning that we stay there, run riders. If you go early in the morning, you go outside the place towards the stables, you will see flamingos flying over you. You'll see domicile cranes flying over you, and also a very rare species called the desert cat is also found in that area. Very skittish, very rare to see. But last season, people did have a sighting of the desert cat. They usually they have dens in the euphobias, so they dig out down of the euphobias and they make their dens there. This is the laws that we use called run riders, and as I told you, go early morning outside, and you might see the domicile cranes and the flamingos flying over you, and it will be your sight of the day. Yeah, so this is how you go there early in the morning, in the desert area, and you look for birds, and you look for mammals, and you look for wild asses. Okay, Javai. Oh, one of the most iconic places in terms of human animal conflict or human animal interaction in India has to be Javai, because in this area it's not a protected area. It's not a protected area at all, and the animals like the leopards, which is the main animal to see there, male mammal to see there, live in very close quarters of to the humans there. And the leopard population is pretty good. The people have turned it into a tourism model, and it has been very successful. Jawai is made actually out of these million years old granite hills that are there, and these hills are can like they provide space for the leopards to den and to raise their young ones, and also they feed on. There's no natural prey there. They feed on the livestock. They feed on the dogs. They feed on sometimes the nilgais, the blue bulls, the wild birds. Some places they have chinkara, but majorly livestock, and that's how they are living, and it's quite incredible to see. So these granite rocks, you can go and like do safaris on them, and there are these very big euphobias in between. There are some grasslands in between as well. I'll show you a photo later. There are big grasslands in between of these graphite rocks, and you can see leopards there. Towards the back, if you see, there's a water area that is called the Javai Dam, and that also attracts a lot of different kind of birds, including the flamingos, and also homes some big mugger crocodiles. So as I was talking about grassland, so you can see one of the photos here on the top. A male leopard is in the grassland, and then euphorbia is next to it, and it looks very amazing. So photos like this you can get, and it's very amazing. Towards the downside, you can see a cat species. It's called the rusty spotted cat, and it is the smallest wild cat in the whole world, and it is found in Javai and Satpura. And later I'll talk about Satpura, but Javai is also a good place to see them. They're nocturnal, so maybe when you're coming back from your safaris to the lodge, on the way you can get a glimpse or maybe see this amazing cat. This is a typical habitat shot of Javai, which was taken from the Bera Safari Lodge. uh, this is a female leopardess that used to live there, and now her cubs are living in the same areas. So these big boulders, these granite hills, you can capture these animals in a very, very, very amazing and a beautiful way with the landscape that you want. This is Bira Safari Lodge. Uh, what I like about this lodge personally is there huge windows. Okay, and you wake up in the morning, just open it. Sometimes you just scan with your binoculars, and there's a leopard there sitting on the top of the hill. And another thing about this photo here, it's a half photo. Okay, so if you go and talk to the owner of Bira Safari Lodge, he'll tell you that how they were herders. There was a herd of sheeps or goats just down to it, just down to the leopard, and the herder was watching the leopard, and the leopard was watching the goats. So interaction like these, Jawai is famous for, like so close call interaction with humans, with the livestock as well. There's a photo of Jawai which is very famous, in which there's a temple on these hills, and there's a priest that is doing his morning puja, morning procession, morning worship, and there's a leopard on the top of the hill that is watching that priest doing it. The attacks are very rare. It's only the livestock things, and there are a lot of NGOs that are working on the terms of livestock things. So they go and they give money to the person who have lost their livestock, and it's a very successful tourism model in general. So the best time for Asiatic lions and black bucks and leopards is usually the winters, and starting from February to April is also a good time. It's not as cold as Ladakh. The temperatures are pretty good. You just need a jacket in the mornings to go and see these amazing animals. Okay, now coming to our tigers, I guess the main interaction, main mammal that everyone thinks that, okay, there are tigers in India and I'll go see tigers. Let's talk about tigers for a bit. So here is the map of central India. So there's Ranthambore, Satpura, Pench, Tadoba, Kanha, and Bandhavgarh, which is the part of the central Indian landscape, and have a good population of tigers and maximum chances of you seeing a tiger in India. I think the most, if someone is coming or someone is researching about India and where to see tigers, I guess on the top will be Ranthambore, and I have no this thing about it, because Ranthambore has been a very important park in terms of conservation of tigers since the start. This is the map of Ranthambore, which lies towards the eastern part of Rajasthan, and it borders Madhya Pradesh. So the tigers, they move sometimes as well. They go towards Madhya Pradesh and they come towards back to Rajasthan. The thing that I love about Ranthambore is the habitat and the ruins of the fort. So Ranthambore used to be the hunting grounds of Raja Savai, who used to come here and hunt for tigers, and all these ruins in the national park, and they are beautifully located. Like, I don't know what he was thinking, but he did amazing job in terms of placing them at the right place, because you just go on the road and there's a fort somewhere there, there's a ruin somewhere inside the jungle, there's a ruin next to a lake, and the reflection is falling on the lake, and it's just amazing. I've been quite lucky with sighting a tiger in this specific ruin, in which a tiger was sleeping and then he got up and then he moved as well. So I've been quite lucky in that, and there are a lot of people who get lucky as well, because this area specific area has a lot of water, and tigers, they love water, and they are usually around water, especially in the summer months, and Ranthambore can get very hot. So at that time, the tigers usually are in this area, and you can see them near the ruins, the cubs playing near the ruins, and you can get some amazing photos. Ranthambore tigers, like if you go search Google tiger photos, you'll get major of Ranthambore tiger photos, and it's very easy to recognize them, because they have this face of like this fierce face of Ranthambore tigers that everyone recognizes. I also see their coat color. Their coat color is quite different to that of other tigers in other tiger reserves. I was very curious about it. One of my friends, Shantanu, he is a wildlife researcher in Ranthambore, and I asked him why, and he said that maybe it's because they eat a lot of sambar deers, which is the big deer. That is the main part of their diet. So I guess the diet changes a lot of the coat color of the tiger as well, but it's the amber in the eyes as well that I love the tiger for. See, the eyes, they have that, they have something about them that attracts you. Ranthambore has a very dry habitat. The terrain is very dry. That also attracts a lot of different species, such as the striped hyena, that is also outside the park and also inside the park. Outside the park, when you are maybe going for a safari, you can stumble across one. Ranthambore has amazing leopard population. I remember last time I was there in October, I guess end of October, and the last safari, we were coming back and we've had some amazing sightings, and we were like so done that we don't want anything, we just want to go back. But this male huge leopard just came in front of us and he walked on the road and we were blocked. And in India, there's a specific time you have to get out of the park, and he was just walking, and we can't of course like overtake the leopard, so we have to make the video to show it to the gate person that see there was a leopard on the way. The population is good. We have sightings every now and then of the leopards in Ranthambore. Also, this is a sambar deer, which is one of the most favorite food of tigers because it can last for a long period of time. And also, they are too big, so they can't run a lot. So it's much more easier for the tigers to catch them. These are some of the ruins that you have in Ranthambore, and if there's any tiger around in that area, you can get some amazing photographs. But in general as well, like whenever I go to Ranthambore, I just adore the beauty of the park. Also, there's Ranthambore Fort as well, in which we can go on the top and see the view of Ranthambore, of the jungle. Coming to Pench, I guess like the people who have done tiger safaris in India, they will know this park because it's probably one of the closest park. Tadoba and Pench are the closest park to Nagpur. You fly in and then you go to Pench. The thing that I love about Pench is that Pench, along with tigers, there is a good population of other mammals as well. Of wild dogs, there are good amount of wild dogs there. There's good amount of leopards there, and there's a reason behind it. The reason is the rocks in Pench, they're huge in size, and leopards in general, they can hide their prey in between of the rocks. Dogs as well, they can den inside next to the rocks, in which they are safe from the tigers. So if like once in a while you come across the dogs or the leopards very easily. Here is a map of Pench Tiger Reserve. The blue part you can see is the Pench Reservoir, and sometimes the tigers, they walk in that area as well, and it's good to photograph. So there are majorly three gates, which is Jamtara, which is on the top left hand side, top right, Karmajhari and Terai gate. And all of the roads, if you're entering from Jamtara, if you're entering from Karmajhari, if you're going from Terai, you'll just go to one part for safaris. Okay, so everyone comes to one part and search for the wildlife in that area. The terrain, as I said, it's rocky, and there's good openings in between of the forest. It's a very pretty forest. I find Pench very pretty at times. And also, the reservoir adds. I guess any water body in general adds character to the forest, and reservoirs also do the same. And Pench Reservoir does add character to Pench a lot. Yeah, so Pench is famous for a tigress called Collar Wali. If you translate it to English, it is a female tiger with a collar, and she is one of the most iconic. She will be forever one of the most iconic tigress in India, because number of litters that she had. She'll be I think over, like someone is in competition with her right now, another tigress, but still she will have her own charm. One of the most photographed tigress of India, 100%, and we owe a lot to that tigress in India, and we respect her. There was a proper funeral that was given to that tigress, by the way. Like when she died of natural causes, and her body was burned with full respect by the forest department. And yeah, in terms of birds as well, Pench is quite good. You see good amount of birds. You also see the flying squirrel in that area. There's good light in the morning as well to photograph deers and anything that you see in the morning. Yeah, I've already talked about the leopard population and the wild out population, and tiger population is also good. On the right hand side, you can see this tiger there, and he's doing phlegm response. So phlegm is basically uh, when a tiger, they get a smell of another tiger, like when there's any spray or something like that, they get that scent into their Jacob's organ to identify it, like to know that there's another tiger in that area. So they do this thing, and it is also called a smirking tiger. And this tiger there's a very good story about this tiger. His name is Swastik because he has a swastik on his cheeks. And on that specific day, uh, he's a very smart tiger. So pair of leopards, they got a kill, and it was in between of a rock. And this guy got the smell. I don't know how. He was just walking on the road, and we didn't know that there were leopards there. Okay, he was walking on the road. We were following him. We were following him, and then his ears went up. His head went up. He looked like that, and then he knew that there's something there, and he went there and he shoot up at the leopards, got the kill, and came out with the kill. So it's a very smart tiger. We use a lot of amazing lodges in Pench, and there is a lot of different kind of architecture and paintings that you're going to see in Pench lodges, which is majorly the Gond art, which is from the local people. And they do it beautifully. There's a very good art piece that you might see in a lot of Indian museum. It's called the Tree of Life, and it comes from the Gond art. Tadoba, I would like to call it the action-packed place. There's a lot of action that goes on in Tadoba, and I'll tell you why. So Tadoba is next to a town called Chandrapur. Chandrapur uh, is actually a place for minings. There's a lot of minings going on in that area now. Because of minings, the temperature of Tadoba goes up like around 45 degrees around in that area in summers. And because of that, tigers, they are concentrated just next to the water bodies. So it's very likely that as soon as you enter the park, the guide will take you to a water body, and the tigers will be there. And it's not only the tigers in that area that come to the water body. There's sloth bears who come, there's leopards who come. So there's amazing interactions that you can see in Tadoba, which I love Tadoba about. Like, there's a video from Tadoba, a very old video, in which there's a leopard and a sloth sorry there's a tiger and a sloth bear, and they were fighting for water holes. And it's just amazing. Recently, one of my friend called Jeswin, he got a very good photo of a sloth bear and a leopard face to face next to a water hole. So it can get action packed. A lot of hunting as well in that area. Like, the tiger hunts the deers, and they usually do it in the open grounds, and they don't like to move away from water at a lot of times, especially in the summers. This is the map of Tadoba, and there are a lot of different gates. I think there are 16, 17 gates in Tadoba, mix of buffer and the core areas. And yeah, all of the gates, they do the safaris in the same areas, and they search for wildlife in the same areas. uh, there's not a lot of thick vegetation in Tadoba. Again, there's majorly bamboos, and sometimes it's difficult to see through bamboos. And also there's a tar road. Okay, there's a tar road going in between, that is only used by safari jeeps. Previously, it was used by buses, but now it's stopped. Only safari jeeps goes there, and the tigers also move on that. And early in the morning is sun coming up on the tar roads, and you can see that tigers walking, sometimes wild dogs in near that area, good birds as well. Recently, I had a client who just wanted to see birds in Tadoba, and I was like, this is not the place. But I was quite surprised with the bird species. We got some good eagles, we got some amazing vultures, we got some very small birds as well. Like, we got a lot of different kind of fly catchers, which was amazing. We got the francolins, also the spur fowls. So we got amazing birds in that area. So I was quite surprised with the bird species that we can see in Tadoba. Yeah, so shots like these where the tiger is near the water. You can get something like that in Tadoba. And also Gaur, which is the biggest wild cattle, and you can see in major of the part of central and southern India and some part of northeast in Manas, but central and southern India you can see them very nicely. Tadoba tigers are very accustomed to jeeps. So they walk on the roads. They don't like, if you maintain a good distance with them, you can get them for a long sighting, and they are very comfortable doing that. So, Tadoba also has a good amount of sloth bears and wild dogs, and the sightings are very, very frequent. We use lodges. Which are very close to the park again in Tadoba. The first thing that you're gonna hear in Tadoba is alarm call. Like early morning, I remember like most of the times I'm still going. I'm in Bandhavgarh right now. I'll go to Tadoba in like next 2-3 weeks, in 2 weeks, and I'm pretty sure as soon as I'll open my door in the morning, I'll hear an alarm call giving it that there's a tiger or there's a leopard somewhere roaming around in the vicinity nearby. So yeah, it's a magical place. It's very unexpected. It's action packed. Coming to Kanha, one of the most picturesque national parks of central India, Kanha National Park, it is. And there are different zones that I'm going to talk about. So, Kanha has majorly 4 zones in which the safari happens: Mukki, Kanha, Kisli, and Sarahi. Okay, so you will be allotted one of the zones, and each zone has its own beauty. Kisli is more of mountainous, Kanha and Sarhi is more of grassland, and they are just picture perfect grasslands. Like uh, they are just like with the morning mist of Kanha. You see Barasinghas, the swarm deers with their horns up, and mist, sunshine coming in. It's just like you feel very amazing just seeing that. Mukki range is more of forested area, but there are some openings which are quite good for tigers. Terrain, so there's a lot of grasslands in Kanha, okay, and that also helped to get one of the species back, which was the Barasingha or the swarm deers. Now these were also extensively hunted, and there was a time when there were just 73 70s 60 70 of them left, and then a reintroduction process started, and now Kana has very good amount of swarm deers all over. They have I guess more than 500, more than that, I guess, good amount of swarm deers in all of Kana now. Kanha has black bucks as well. There's a very small population though, but still in Kanha grasslands you can come across them. There's good amount of birds because there's a lot of sal species. There's a lot of sal trees in the area. Sal trees, they are amazing for birds because of fruits. So, and also they are very beautiful. They are long. They are like very long, very huge trees, and they attract a lot of different kind of bird species. The tigers of Kanha, there are a lot of documentaries that are shot in Kanha and also in Bandhavgarh. But Kanha tigers are just like the coat is just amazing, I guess. Like in the morning sunshine, the morning time, the light of Kanha, especially the when it comes from the sal trees, it filters out, and it just makes the park very beautiful. Yeah, talking about the light, good golden light most of the time in Kanha, especially in the morning, which is perfect for. And also, it's I guess it's more elongated as well. The light period in Kanha is more like good light period is more there. Like for around 1 hour after the sunrise, one and a half hour, you get good light there in that area, and that animals you can click very good photos at that time. Again, we use amazing lodges in Kanha, quite close to the park. The good wildlife coming around the lodges as well. There are some lodges in which we use, and they have seen otters inside. So it was first record of smooth coated otters also in that area in some lodges. So they help, and like there's a river there called the Banjar River, which is the lifeline of Kanha. So most of the lodges are next to it only, like next to Banjar River, and it provides a lot of good ecosystem. that can come to the lodge because of that river. Bandhavgarh, I'm sitting in Bandhavgarh right now. I did a morning safari today, and it was pretty same. I saw a female with two cubs, and the cubs were not as small as this. I wish they were, but they were quite big. But the sighting was amazing. And Bandhavgarh has been featured in a lot of different documentaries, different TV shows about tigers, and it has been like there in spotlight since a long period of time. Bandhavgarh means basically brothers fort. Bandhav means brothers. So there's a fort here as well in Bandhavgarh that we can't go now because it lies in the core zone and you can't go in that area. But that it is believed that it was given from Lord Rama to Lord Lakshman. That's why it's called the Bandhavgarh or the brothers fort. This is the zone. This is the map of Bandhavgarh Tiger Reserve, and there are three major zones that we do safaris in, which is Tala. In red, you can see Tala, Khitoli, and Magdi. Tala is the most picturesque zone. It has the fort in it. It has the Sheshaya, which is basically a statue of Lord Vishnu lying down, and next to it is a Shiv Linga, and you have to climb up towards a mountain with the jeep, and then you go up and see that. So it gives a good sense of culture as well inside the national park that I like. Khitoli is more forested, Magdi is more grasslandy, but it's the total of all the parks. All the parks have their own beauty. The terrain of the park is majorly bamboo and these teak trees that are present in the area, and that also gives good views. Like also other thing I like about the Central Indian parks is that they're well connected. So tracking as a tracker, like I love tracking personally, and there are a lot of guides who love tracking. And as a tracker, if you have more road connections, especially in India where off-roading is not allowed, it's just like it's a very good feeling. It's a very good like this thing that I can track more freely. And in Bandhavgarh as well, there are a lot of different tracks that goes and interconnects with each other, so you can track the movement of the cat and the mammals very easily, and that gives it a plus point for sure. Yeah, Bandhavgarh has been famous for its tigers, especially in summers. The sightings they go very like up as well. Other than that, it has other predators as well. Wild dog sightings have been quite less. They have moved towards the outer area of the reserve. But sloth bears are still in the park. They are there. They have been seen. Someone sighted it in the morning in Khitoli in a different zone. But sloth bear sightings are there. The other mammals as well, the jackals, the bisons, and good, amazing vulture species. This I saw like every time that I'm coming to Bandhavgarh, at least like I'm seeing some good vultures. This morning, we saw a red-headed vulture, which is amazing to see, and then also a white ram vulture, which is a critically endangered species. And this year I'm seeing it only second time. First time I saw it in Rajasthan, and this is the second time. I was quite happy to see it that I saw one, because it's a very rare virtue to see. Other than that, we have the blue bulls, the nilgais as well in the area, and also the muggers. I'm sitting in King's Lodge right now. The big photo that you can see is of King's Lodge, and I'm sitting here. And in the afternoon, while I was present, like I was rehearsing the presentation, I was sitting on the top, and I could hear alarm calls of spotted deers. So it's very close to the jungle. Just across, there's a road, and after the road, there is the core area. So there's a hill there, and I could hear the alarm calls there. So the lodge is very, very, very comfortable as well, quite close to the gate. So you like grab your morning coffee and then you go to the park directly, and you enter, and yeah, look for mammals, look for animals. Satpura Tiger Reserve is the place that I got trained in as a naturalist, and I'm so glad that I got trained in Satpura, because at that time Satpura was not a very tiger focused park. It used to be focused on other things such as the sloth bears and the wild dogs and the leopards. But since last last year and last year, Satpura has been amazing in terms of sightings. I guess there were just 2 or 3 days in last season where the sighting didn't happen, and every day majorly there was a sighting because there was a female with two cubs, and they used to be concentrated in an area. So yeah, the sightings were there, and Satpura has been quite good last season, and since last couple of days, a couple of years. This is a map of Satpura. So the dark green area you see is the core area, and the light green area where the green dots are the lodges. So you have to, if you have to come from the buffer area, like the lodge area to the core area inside the national park, you have to take a boat. And also another thing that I love about Satpura is that you can explore it in different ways. So while in different national parks you can just go for the safaris, in Satpura you can go for kayaking. You can go for boat safaris in which you will be in Denver in this reservoir looking for tigers, and people do see tigers there. People see sloth bears as well in that area. So there's a lot of different ways other than safaris that you can explore in that area. And also the other red dot that you see down towards left hand side, it's Bori, and it is a new part that is opened, and it is also very good. It's a extended part of Satpura, and you also see good amount of wildlife in that area. Leopards. Now with the tiger population going up towards the main area of Satpura, the leopards are moving towards Bori. Some of them are still there though. Some of them are moving towards Sehra, which is the buffer area. I guess Satpura is one of the most, like after Kanha, I like Satpura the most because it has very dense forest. Okay, it has a dense forest. It gives you a feeling of uh, the jungle, like a pure jungle, Indian jungle feeling when you go inside. All the parks do, but there's something about Satpura that gives you. It's like very dense. And this photo that you see is actually the leopard is from Satpura, and as soon as you used to enter the Magdi zone, the main zone, him and his brother used to always be there, and we used to get sightings almost every day of these two leopards coming in almost every day, and it was quite good. The terrain is majorly open and dense, giving it like a total jungle feels of what Satpura is. As I said that the leopard population is going a bit down, but still like we see leopards at least in 2 or 3 days we have sightings. The sloth bears are still there. Sloth bears are doing pretty good in that area, and if someone wants to see sloth bears, we close our eyes and we suggest them to go to Satpura, because Satpura has amazing sloth bear population, and most of the times you see them. In the middle, there was a problem, and it's a very, very amazing story. There was a male tiger called Ravan, and he started hunting down sloth bears. He's not there anymore. I guess he's moved towards the different area, but his staple diet was becoming sloth bears. So he used to go and hunt sloth bears. We used to see sloth bear carcasses. We used to see like him on sloth bear carcass as well, like eating it. So he was becoming a problem, but thank God now he's moving out now towards the northern area of the reserve, and like now the sloth bear is coming back towards the main area, so we are getting good sightings of sloth bears. Satpura is also famous for a gecko called the Satpura leopard gecko, and it's only endemic to the Satpura hills. And it is found towards the buffer areas in the monsoons. You can see them, which is amazing. Satpura is amazing for birds. Minivets, three different kind of minivets in that area, 3-4 different kinds. Black-bellied tern, which is another a prized bird for a lot of birders to see. You can see it there. A lot of water birds. The reservoir attracts a lot of different kind of birds, so you can see it there. We have good like range of choices in terms of hotels in lodges in Satpura, and Rainy Pani is there. Rainy Pani is very close to the jungle as well. Amazing for bird watchers, because if you go towards there up on the top of their hill cottages, there's very likely situation that you'll come across a very good bird called the orange-headed thrush. And also, when I was last there, I was searching for that bird and I heard alarm calls. I heard a leopard sawing early in the morning. So the wildlife is around Rainy Pani and other lodges as well in Satpura. So the best time for all the Central Indian parks is majorly starting from November to April. Anytime you want to go, you can go, but the summers are always like best. But the sightings are always consistent in any time of the year, except the monsoons. Monsoons, all the parks in India are closed because of the rains. So the monsoons usually starts from May. It goes up to September, October. So at that time, the park is closed. This is the same for Kanha, Bandhav, Satpura as well. In the morning, usually the temperatures are cold early in the morning. Uh, uh, in the winter months, but later they get fine. Like if you have two jackets on, you can take out one layer. Sometimes the weather is we can like it gets overcasted, then it's more colder, but usually it's like that only. After breakfast, I usually remove my coat. My clients always you remove their coats. Okay, now we'll be talking about Dudhwa, Singalila, and Kaziranga. uh, I was born in Lucknow. I was raised in Lucknow, and Dudhwa was the closest park for me. And I have a lot of my core memories as a jungle kid is from Dudhwa. Dudhwa National Park lies, so all of this area that you can see, starting from Dudhwa to Singalila, Dudhwa to I guess Bihar, this area that you can see there is the upper Gangetic plains, which means the Terai. And the special thing about Dudhwa is that they have no rocks in the park. There's no rocks in the park. It's just rivers in between, a small territory, a small Sharda, the tributaries of the Sharda River, and beautiful forest, and a lot of dust and a lot of different kind of minerals in the area. Uh, Dudhwa tigers are considered to be bigger in size. The Terai tigers in general are considered to be bigger in size. There's a story behind it that it's a very controversial story, but it's like a lot of people still believe it. I also do. So Billy Arjun Singh was a hunter who turned into a conservationist, and he used to live near Dudhwa National Park. Now, Indira Gandhi was our first lady prime minister, and she was very much interested in the Project Tiger, and Billy wrote to Indira Gandhi saying that he wants to take participation in the Project Tiger. And she told him to go to Tycross Zoo in London, in UK, and get a tigress and rewild her into Dudhwa National Park. And he did that. He got the tigress, but towards the end period of the tigress, like when he was getting the tigress inside the jungle, like she was getting to learn the ways, he saw a lot of different type of things. Like the size of the tiger was much more bigger and everything, so he was very very concerned about it. So he went back to Tycross, and there was a logbook there. Every zoo has a logbook in which there is the family tree of a tiger. It turned out the tigress that is now in Dudhwa National Park had some genes of Siberian tiger inside it. So it is said that the tigers in Terai are much more bigger because they have some genes of Siberian tiger in it. But it's controversial, but still like people do believe it. So here is a male tiger from Dudhwa. As you can see, it's much more bigger. The head is much more huge. There's a good mane, and his name is Gabbar. And it was a very beautiful sighting on a very cold day. And towards the end of the day, there was some sun, so he was just enjoying his sun. So another thing about Dudhwa is that in this whole terrain, there are 4 areas that you can visit. You can stay in Dudhwa and you can visit Pilibhit Tiger Reserve, which has amazing tiger population, and it has canals in the middle. like canals which were built by Britishers, and it's still there. And the tigers, they live in that area. So once, if you are staying in Dudhwa, you can go to Pilibhit, you can go to Kishanpur. Kishanpur is amazing for tigers. Most of the tiger sightings in Dudhwa happens in Kishanpur, and it also has a good population of Barasinghas, or the swamp deers. A lot of migratory birds as well, they come to Kishanpur. Dudhwa, on the other hand, is very thick jungle, good for leopards, good for rhinos, good for elephants as well. They reintroduced rhinos in 1980s, and they are doing quite well. They were in an enclosure till last year. Now they have released them, and they are like in the open now, so you can see them outside of the enclosure as well, living and thriving, which is quite good. And Katarnia Ghat Wildlife Sanctuary, which is the place where you can go for a boat safari in the Garwa River, and you can come across the endangered crocodilian species called the ghadial, which has a long snout. The main problem with ghadial is why it is endangered is fishing nets. Fishing nets used to come around the snout of ghadials, and they used to die because of that. But there's a lot of conservation efforts now for ghadials, and they are doing quite well. Other mammal that you can see in Katanya Ghat is Gangetic river dolphins. These dolphins are blind, like because of silt in the river and evolution. They have lost their eyes, so they are just two dots you see. So they use sonar to like navigate in the rivers, and to hunt as well. So this being in Dudhwa, you can visit Pilibhit, you can visit Kishanpur, you can visit Dudhwa, and you can visit Katanya Ghat. So one sanctuary and four reserves you can visit and see different habitats and different mammals and different birds as well. As I said, Dudhwa terrain is very like dense. It's huge sal forest, but it's amazing for photography. It can give you some very good frames, because as you can see towards the end of this road, it looks like it is a tunnel, and sometimes the animal is walking in the tunnel, and it's just amazing to see. When I saw my first tiger in Dudhwa, uh, it took me around 2 months to see my first tiger in Dudhwa. It was at that time when I was like very young. I was around 18, 19, and I was doing some research work in Dudhwa. And I had my next to me was my guide, and we were watching hornbill, a great hornbill. Hornbills are also found in Dudhwa. We were seeing a great hornbill on the top, and something was walking in the front. So I asked to my guide that what is a buffalo doing inside the park, and he said it's not a buffalo, it's a tiger. It was a huge male tiger just coming towards us, and I could just see a dot, and the dot was so big that it looked like a buffalo. So yeah, I have a lot of stories. If I start talking about Dudhwa, I guess it will take a lot of time, and yeah, it'll just take a lot of time. Yeah, so the tiger population is quite good in Dudhwa now. The sightings are very, very, very frequent, especially in Kishanpur. Same goes for the rhinos as well. The population is good. They're outside the enclosure now. They released them last year, and they're thriving good, and they are like taken care of in that like there are people who are always surveilling them, that there's no poaching happening in the area. And since last 1 year there have been no poaching reports. Other than that, we have smooth coated otters as well. We have them in the area, especially in Dudhwa. We see them a lot. The swamp deers as well. uh, Jagged Lodge is the lodge which we use there. They have a swamp of themselves next to the property, and you see a very rare cat there called the fishing cat. So the naturalists there, they'll take you for a night drive and searching for jungle cats, fishing cats, and you come across them like every now and then. Coming to Singalila National Park, for red pandas, the fire foxes. So Singalila National Park is in the state of West Bengal and Sikkim, like bordering Sikkim and West Bengal, and it also borders Nepal. So the park is actually in two different countries, Nepal and India, and there are operations from both the sides. We can do from Mani Bhanjang, you can see here, and towards the Nepal side. Now it's just like from Bagdogra, you have to drive for just 3 hours, 2.5, 3 hours, and then you'll be in Manibanjang, and you can stay there and photograph and go for safaris in Singalila. Now the terrain is just amazing. It's the Shivalik, Eastern Shivalik Mountains, and next to it is the Greater Himalayas as well, in which you can see the Kanchenjunga. It's cloud forest. It's moist cloud forest, and with a lot of different kind of trees and very dense, and a lot of mossy trees that the red pandas love because they rest on them. Um, the photo on the right hand side of the red panda is the most latest one, because the wildlife worldwide tour of the red pandas, rhinos, and tigers, they just went, and this is the photo that they clicked of a very cute red panda uh, coming down of an oak tree. The left hand side is my photo from April, and we got this individual very nice clear on a very cloudy day though, but it was quite amazing to see it there. So these animals, they are usually like alone, they are solitary, but sometimes they come with their cubs. There's a female with cubs, you can click that. There's sometimes two siblings together, you can click that. And of course, you can get a lot of good views of the Kanchenjunga mountain, the Himalayan mountains from Singalila National Park itself. But photographing red pandas is similar operations to that of snow leopards. There'll be spotters who'll be going early in the morning, and they'll find the panda, and they'll call you up that we have seen the panda and you can come. So you drive down there and you see the panda, you click pictures ethically, like with safe distances, not disturbing the animal at all, and then you come back. So it's a very good experience. You trek for a bit, seeing the habitat as well in which the red panda lives. On the way, you can see the red panda scat. You can see what it eats, bamboos. Sometimes you see them in bamboos as well. So it's very fun to watch them eating bamboos. And sometimes you see them resting. uh, Singalila has around 20 plus species of rhododendrons, which is this red flower. And sometimes red panda, they come on the top of this amazing tree, and we can get some very good photos. Another good species that you can photograph in Singalila, especially in the time of March to April, is the Satar trogopan. This pheasant bird that you can see is a very prized bird for a lot of bird watchers, and it is very difficult to see one. It's very rare. It's next to mythical status bird for a lot of people, and it's very beautiful. Look at it, just the colors and how it looks like. This bird is very skittish. It doesn't come out. It only comes out only at the time of only at the time of mating. So at that time, you can see them on the road sometimes, but otherwise, you can just hear them calling. And they have one of the most haunted calls for any bird. Like they sound like a lady is crying in the forest, something like that. And it's very scary. But yeah, in Singalila, there's good chances of you to seeing this species. On the left hand side, you can see Rio there on the top. Rio is he he owns the lodge called the Terai Lodge, and he's into operations a lot. So he helps us to find the red pandas. He is actually a football player. He was used to play for FC Bangalore previously, and it's him looking for red pandas from up there. And other thing is that in that national park, you can also find the Bhutan giant flying squirrel. This is a photo of mine in April. I clicked it, and it was next to the highway. I was very, very, very shocked to see that this amazing mammal was next to the highway, and it was at the eye level. And yeah, you can just click them. Other than that, in that area, there are good birds as well. A Himalayan owl, you can see in that area. You can see the crimson browed rosefinch. The photo down there is of a crimson browed rosefinch. It's a very chunky, big bird, big rosefinch that you can see in that area. That is also a very prized bird. So all these mammals and birds are Eastern Himalayan specialists, and you can specialty, and you can see them in Singalila National Park. It's a Shikar Terry, the Indian side of the hotel that we use. It's in between of Manebhanjang town, which is a border town between Nepal and India. So a lot of people they speak Nepali, and a lot of people they speak Hindi, but like it's always mixed match, and it's good. It's a good town to stroll around as well. This is Habre's nest. Habre is the local language, local name for red pandas, and this is in the Nepal side, and it is in the park. This amazing lodge, and yeah, like this. Sometimes the snow, sometimes the red panda sightings happened from Habre's nest as well. It's amazing. Coming to the land of giants, which is the Kaziranga. Uh, Kaziranga is a place that I guess everyone should visit. I call it the Mecca of Indian wildlife because you see a lot of things there and in volumes. So Kaziranga National Park is present uh, on the banks of the Brahmaputra River, which is the only male river in India. In a lot of the places there is this like major of the rivers in India are females, like Ganges, Yamuna, Saraswati. They're all females. Brahmaputra is the only river which is male, and that is very special of the river. And next to the river is this Kaziranga National Park, which is I think the biggest success conservation success stories in the world, I guess, for the rhinos. The terrain of the park is very different. So there is Brahmaputra, and next to it is the park. And in the park, there are some areas which has backwaters of Brahmaputra River, and that supports a lot of life. There are swamps. There is also elevated areas. There's also hills in that area as well. There's a zone with hills called Bura Pahad, and you see a lot of different kind of wildlife there. There's a lot of good, like there's quality with quantity. Here is a photo in which you can see the Himalayas in the background. So in Kaziranga, you can see the Himalayas in the background, and the animals in the front. It's famous for its one-horned rhinoceros. Again, like there were very less of them left in India, and they got now like last last I saw one safari. I saw 28 of them. 28 of greater white horned rhinoceros living their best lives in Kaziranga, and you see them everywhere because the habitat is amazing. There's a lot of conservation efforts which are done by the government to save this animal. Other than that, there's megafauna. The we have the elephants. We have the wild buffalo, the Asiatic wild buffalo as well in the area. It's amazing for birds. One of the best places to see some of the very rare birds, such as silver-lord broadbill, is one of them. Such as also a lot of different flycatchers, a lot of different hornbills. Swamp francolin in Kaziranga, that's a very rare bird to see. And gibbons. In Kaziranga, there's a stable population of hulak gibbons that you can find near the Bura Pahar range in Kaziranga. So sometimes even when you're driving to the park, you'll see them on the top of the tree and playing around. There's a family that comes out very often. It's a female and a male and with a baby, and they just play around. And the males are usually black in color, the females are brownish in color, and the babies are usually black in color, and when they grow up the color changes. The another thing that we have in Kaziranga is actually one individual golden tiger, or the tabby tiger. The photo here that you can see, it's submerged in the water, but it is a golden tiger. It's like tabby. It's orangish. It's light orange in color. It's majorly because of inbreeding, but we have that individual, and the sightings are very often in the central zone of Kaziranga. We use Diflu River Lodge here, and it's just amazing. That place is next to the Diflu River and close to the western zone, which is amazing for photography, and also the other to the Bura Pahar zone where you see the gibbons. The rooms are very comfortable. The naturalists are good. They have their own boat as well. If you want to go and search for the Gangetic River dolphin, you can also do that. So the best time for Terai and red pandas and rhinos is the same. Starting from November to April, you see all the three species. So if you want to see red pandas and rhinos, there's a very good wildlife worldwide. It's a tour called Red Panda Rhinos and Tigers, in which you can see red pandas, rhinos, and go to Kanha to see the tigers. Coming to the southern parks, the southern India. So in southern India, we have two major places. One is called the Western Ghat, which is the eighth most biodiverse uh, place on the whole planet. And we have the Shola Hills, which is towards the south, where the Annamalai Tiger Reserve is. So I'll be talking about each of the places as well, like what animals we find there, what is the terrain. Coming to Nagarhole, we do a lot of safaris in Nagarhole. Nagarhole is quite next to Kabini down here, if you can see, and it has a lot of backwaters. So the terrain is very lush and it's very moist forest, which gives amazing photography scope for you, especially if you know to capture leopards or tigers in the green landscape. I guess Nagarhole is one of the best places to do that. As I said, terrain is very green because of the backwaters in the area, and in the backwaters itself you can see elephants, otters, wild boars, spotted deers, a lot of different kind of animals in that area. Other than that, you can see a lot of good bird species like the Malabar pied hornbills, changeable hawk eagles. There's a good population of dholes as well in the area. So you can come across them while driving. As I said, smooth coated otters, they are very, very fierce. The last time I was in Nagarhole, I saw them almost shooing away a tiger, like five of them, and a young tiger which was trying to like bully them, but then they came together and they shoot him away, and he went like it was a young tiger though. Also, leopard population in Nagarhole is very good. As I said, that if you want a photo in which there's a green background and the leopard, Nagarhole is a very good place for that. We use amazing lodges in Nagarhole, and they are quite close to the park as well. So you can just go from the lodge to the park and enjoy. Also, a lot of bird species also come in these lodges that we use. Hornbills, the great hornbills, the Malabar pied hornbills, a lot of different kind of show like water birds as well. They come in that area, so you can photograph them. Coming to Bandipur, Bandipur is more of uh, Bandipur is more of a dry habitat because of no Kabini, no backwaters there, so it's much more of a dry habitat. Here is the map of Bandipur Tiger Reserve, which is quite good. So if you see very closely, there's Kerala and there's Tamil Nadu, and Bandipur is towards the southern side. So it is at the borders of Karnataka, and it is coming towards Kerala and Tamil Nadu. So it is bordering. So it's a very good habitat because it links two different areas as well, like hills towards Kerala side and hills towards Tamil Nadu side. So it's like a transition type of park. The roads of Bandipur is quite amazing because sometimes you see them with a lot of animals on the road, and it's amazing to see. You see a lot of bonnet macaques is one of the species to capture there. Bonnet macaques, also the Malabar giant squirrels. They are very fun to capture. They are all they're every time they are there. Like most of the safari, you see them every now and then, and they are there eating the fig trees. And it's a sight. It's a good sight to see. Good elephant population in both the parks, like Nagarhole and Bandipur, and it's like because of the open areas next to the roads, they are quite close as well. You get some good close-up photographs of the elephants. We use jungle lodges, and they have been consistent with their service, and also the proximity from the park, also the good grounds for birding. Coming to Kerala, we have Wayanad. Wayanad is a whole district. This is whole is Wayanad, but there are small pockets of wildlife, of forest everywhere, and Wayanad is a very beautiful area for capturing some of the uh, some of the very rare animals, such as this Nilgiri langur, which is endemic to Nilgiri Hills. This is the Nilgiri Hills or the Blue Hills. You can go for treks inside the park. You can search for a lot of different kind of birds, Malabar trogon as well, great hornbills in the area. You can see gores. I've seen elephants climbing the hills. It's very common sight in Nilgiris to see elephants climbing the hills. And elephants, when they go on the top, they are like they are a sight to behold. They're amazing climbers, elephants. People don't know about it, but they're amazing climbers. Getting down is a bit difficult, but still they find their way down. Here is a photo of a Malabar trogon, and what you find in the Wayanad, and the hornbill, the Malabar pied hornbill. Okay, so the gores that I talk about they are very much there in Wayanad. Also the Nilgiri Thar, which is endemic to the Nilgiris. And if you have a good spotter, if you have a good guide, you can see them sometimes next to the road as well. And also the grey hornbill, the Malabar grey hornbill, is another species that we find there and is endemic to the area. And they are also very much visible, and you can photograph them. I guess, like, if you've been to Africa, you have seen the banana bird there with the yellow beak. Something somewhere similar, but the colors are much more duller, but still a very beautiful bird. The lodges that we use there are very amazing. A lot of wildlife come inside our lodges. Like a lot of lodges in southern India, Fringe Ford, we use the tea estates, we use they the wildlife is inside the park, is inside the lodge. Elephants, sloth bears, a lot of different things, they come inside the lodge, and your guide will wake you up saying that there's a tusker outside. Someone saw a sloth bear outside, and you have to go there and just photograph them. Coming towards the more downside of the Shola Hills, the Annamalai forest, which is famous for this macaque here. It is called the lion-tailed macaque. If you look closely, the tail, it does look like a lion tail, but I guess the head gives more of a lion impression. So you can see ATR down there. It's toward the southern part, but the forest here is very amazing. Like Shola forest, untouched, very virgin, and a lot of different kind of things to see there. Mostly evergreen with a lot of tea plantations where the elephants roam, wild dogs roam. There are a lot of different kind of there are different kind of this thing as well. Different kind of reptiles and frog species as well. So people go animalize a lot to capture some of the very rare frogs and very rare snakes in the area. Yeah, Annamalai is famous for its bird life. You can see a lot of different kind of birds, and also the Nilgiri langur as well. This morning, I guess one of my friend called me and said that he had a good sighting of a troop of Nilgiri langur, and he was quite happy about it. Nilgiri Thar, Malabar whistling thrush as well. A lot of different kind of sunbirds in that area that you can capture. Yeah, again, all the lodges that we use in southern India, the wildlife is very close to them. The tea estates that we use are very close to wildlife, so you can see anything in that area. So the best time for visiting this park is November to April, because again, monsoons come in, so it's raining, it's pouring. So at that time we don't recommend, but November to April is best time for visiting this park. That's it, guys. If you have any questions, please do let me know. Thank you for hearing me so much.
Wowee! Oh my gosh, that was absolutely sensational. And what is making me chuckle the most, Anurag, is that I'm known for talking. You have beat my record hands down. You've been going for an hour and 40 minutes, but it's been brilliant.
My God, it's almost 2 in India.
Those run-throughs in 45 minutes to an hour, and you've smashed it. But the amazing thing is that you've kept everybody with us the whole time. We've had a couple of people who said, I have to leave now, but I really don't want to, so please send me the recording afterwards. So, quite quite frankly, I'm in awe. I think you're amazing. So thank you so much. I'm having to be held back from getting on a plane to India right now. So yeah, we've just had somebody come on the chat just saying amazing talk. So yeah, they basically yeah, you're a star. Now
I'm glad.
we do have a couple of questions, but what I'm going to do, I'm aware that time is going on. So
Yeah.
can I just ask you to move on to the next slide for me, please?
Yeah,
And what
sure.
I'm going to do is just launch a poll where you can request additional information, detailed travel plans on all of the 8 trips that are listed in front of you here. What I will say is that most of these are group trips. Wildlife of Ladakh, the very first trip that was talked about, is a tailor-made option. However, any of the others we can tailor-make. And if you fancy a bit of this and a bit of that, you know, oh, I'd like a red panda and then I'd like to go to Nagahole, please, or I'd like to go and see Asiatic lions and then a bit of one-horned rhino, we can put together anything that you are looking for. So there is so much more choice than just these 8 options on the top. But just to run through them very quickly for you, as the poll comes onto your screen, if you would like to request Wildlife of Ladakh, that is the Himalayan bear, Pallas's cat, and also snow leopard. We have Northwest India's rare mammals, and that is your Gujarat and Rajasthan. So that is looking for your striped hyena, your wolf, your caracal, all of your foxes, all of your small cats. That is an absolute stonker. You've also got India's big cats, which I think is probably the one that I am most interested in. Snow leopards, lions, tigers, and leopards. I mean, what more can you want? And we have red pandas, we have rhinos and tigers. This is the group trip that has just come back, and that lovely endearing photograph. And we have also got the other 4, Ultimate Tiger. This goes to Pench, where I saw my very first tiger. It's a stonker of a park, and then it goes on to Satpura and to Burri that you particularly mentioned. We've got Nagaholes, tigers, wild dogs, and leopards. And this is down to Nagaholi in the south, very, very popular, 7 nights at Kabini River Lodge. Wild elephant there as well as all of your cats, which is fab. Nagahole Photo Safari, another 7 nights at the same place, this time with Brett Charman, photographer extraordinaire. And then also we have India's Wild South. If you want to get off the beaten track into the Western Ghats and enjoy all of that rather marvellous sort of wildlife that is there, the lion tail and the macaques I'm particularly keen on, then you have all of those options. Right, for some reason, I am just having trouble actually launching the poll, so just bear with me, callers. Here we go. Right, launch, finally. So I'm going to leave this on your screen for a while, and you can literally request whichever of those you are keen on. So please just fire away. Whilst you do that, I'm going to just ask you a couple of questions, please, Anurag, that's come through. You mentioned river dolphins in the Terai. We have a question that has come from Matthew, who wanted to know, is there anywhere else that you can see them? He's heard that Shamble is a possibility, but can't find much more info on it. So is it the Terai, or is there anywhere else where you could potentially look for them, please?
Terai is an option. Chambal is also good. Chambal as well. You see them on the boat safaris. There's also a good option, Chambal. In Kaziranga as well, there have been sightings here and there. But these 3 places are probably the best places to see. Chambal for boat safaris, Katarnya Ghat in Gerwa River, and Brahmaputra River in Kaziranga.
Okay, brilliant. Okay. And also, I think you may have gone through this, you did this for everywhere else, but what's the best time to visit Kaziranga, please? That's
Kaziranga, November to April, again, a very good time. If you are into birds, then I'll suggest you to come towards the January time, because there are amazing birds at that time. And for photography, if you know, click like with the Himalayas, the animals with the Himalayas, uh, November, December, January is a very good time. If you know, concentrate on the tigers, I would suggest come towards the later time. Kaziranga is not that much for the tigers, but still the sightings are happening there. But after March, like end Feb, for starting towards the end of April, is good fight time for tigers.
Brilliant. Thank
Yeah.
you. Are you a photographer?
Sometimes I do when I get like, I'm not a big one.
Okay, no, me neither. We had a question about the best lenses to take, but that is
Okay.
something. But I mean, we normally recommend a 1 to 400 as being the sort of standard, so we can go with that.
Which trip for is are you asking? Because if you're going to Ladakh, then for snow leopards you'll need like longer lenses around 800 to 1200 For tigers, I would suggest 400 is probably the best thing, and same goes for Kaziranga as well and other places as well. 400 does everything.
Brilliant,
Yeah.
lovely, thank you. And then could you just go on to the last slide for me, please?
Okay, yeah.
Thank you. Right, so I'm just going to end the poll amongst all of the questions that I'm getting from lots and lots of people saying, please just pass on what a fantastic talk it is, and hence I'm writing down bits here, there and everywhere. Your enthusiasm has been commented on more than once. So thank you so much for being part of this evening. It's been an absolute pleasure, and I have learned so much just listening to you. It's been fantastic. So now, just before we wrap up, it is the last talk of the Autumn Discover Wildlife series. So we won't see you again until the spring, I'm afraid. So you'll have to all have a fantastic Christmas in the meantime and enjoy the holidays. Before that, of course, if you've been inspired by anything that you have seen today, we've got an offer for you. And it's not your usual £100 off. We've got a sale on. So you can get up £250 off your next holiday. So get in touch with us tomorrow and give us a call. We're always very happy to talk India. It is just the most phenomenal continent, subcontinent, particularly, for wildlife, for culture, for scenery. It's epic. So we have got that offer, so give us a call and we can start the conversation and we can start looking into the holiday of your dreams out there. So yes, that's it from us. It's probably about 3 in the morning for you, Anurag, and you've got to go on to Karma tomorrow.
Yeah, it's 2 in the morning. Yeah. Ghana tomorrow. I'm quite excited for that though.
Go, and you can go to bed knowing that you hold the record for the longest, greatest talk in wildlife worldwide history. So thank you very much indeed.
Thank you for being so kind, Helen. So
oh no, it's been a pleasure. And to everybody that has joined us this evening, thank you so much. We very much hope that you've enjoyed it, and we look forward to talking India with you very soon. So on that note, over and out. Thank you, everyone.